People think it does, but it don't. It just moves from one set of assets into another set of assets. And that, in my view, is going to go into commodities.
KNACI88 says, what is the logic behind Greg's indicator?
It's very simple. It just looks at the debt market as a driver. That's all it is. It's a very simple equation that I put together. I tried a whole bunch of things to say, what would work? How can we track action in the debt market itself, which includes the dollar, the US dollar being the world reserve currency, as a unit of debt, and the debt market itself based upon the 10-year yield. So it's just so simple to me. And the best way to get from point A to point B is a simple way and a straight line. That's why I believe the MMRI works. There's a gentleman out here, Jack Gamble, who did a revision on the MMRI, which was nice, good work, but I don't think it reflects the reality of the situation more than the MMRI in its basic form does. Jack's a good guy, smart guy. This is the guy who does Nobody's Special Finance. Good guy. You should have him on your show. I don't know if you have already. You should reach out to him. His name is Jack Gamble. Good guy. I like him a lot. Shout out to him. Puts out a lot of good information. But anyway, so the MMRI just looks at the debt market as a driver as to what's happening in the stock market. Right now, we're just below orange. There's 4 phases. There's green, everything's good. Yellow, things are okay, but maybe not looking too good. Orange, start opening your eyes, and then there's red. When you get into that red zone, I think people really need to start paying more attention as to what's going on. It's very simple. It's all laid out on my website, color-coded, numbers. It can't be more simple to follow.
And again, that's at traderschoice.net. People, if you want to keep an eye on that, I know I look at it. And I've also got on your mailing list, so I get your daily publications or twice daily publications sent out. It used to come on Twitter, but now you've got too much over the target, so you were banned off of Twitter. But you still have a mailing list. If people want to sign up for your mailing list, where do they do that?
Right on my website. Just go to my website, traderschoice.net, or watch any of my videos. You can see a link there too. It's free for everyone. I want people to have it. So I send out my videos every day, and then other information here. When something hits me throughout the day, I send out things. And once a week, generally, I also send a nice summary as to what's going on. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do it this week, but generally every single week, usually on a Monday or a Tuesday, I kind of summarize what's going on, and I kind of send that out to people too. So it's a benefit to people to join it. I don't ask for anything. I just want people to have it. So just sign up. It's free. You've
been mentioning physical precious metals more than once. Edward Diaz 1130 asks, why invest in precious metals when they're the most manipulated market?
Well, it's just so simple. Like I said, going back to what I said, if you could just consider what I'm saying, debt market sell-off will lead to a massive stock market sell-off. And cash doesn't just go to money heaven. People think it does, but it don't. It just moves from one set of assets into another set of assets. And that, in my view, is going to go into commodities, and none more so than ones that have been massively suppressed for years. And we know they're being rigged, just like this gentleman alluded to. So that's where you need to be good. Take advantage of these things here. Global debt is going to continue to swell until it doesn't. And we'll know when that moment of maximum saturation is by watching the 10-year yield, paying attention to the MMRI. And I think we got it covered. It's not that hard.
When we talk about unreliable or misleading official statistics, headline statistics, we've had John Williams from shadowstats.com on talking about the headline CPI numbers, or the headline unemployment numbers are heavily manipulated always to spin the situation to make it seem more the way the powers that be want us to think it is rather than the way it really is. So this amount of cash, amount of debt that's being pulled into the future, from the future into the present, to keep this Ponzi scheme expanding. Most people are not aware of the true extent of that. EC660 asks, does Greg think we will ever find out just how much cash has the Fed created to stabilize the bond market?
Never. Because again, they have the public balance sheet and they have off balance sheet. The off balance sheet we'll never get to see. Look, this is common knowledge. You look at any major corporation on the planet, they have their public balance sheet and they have another balance sheet, the one that people aren't allowed to see unless you're way, 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 way up there in the structure of that institution here. Off balance sheet is probably multiples higher than the public balance sheet here. And then the other thing is, if you look at it at face value, and then you realize that when you're looking at something at face value, there are layers of derivatives underneath that, and no one even knows how big that is. It's in the quadrillions. The whole system it's insolvent. It only functions, again, by continually inflating the debt. It doesn't even exist. It's not on the elemental chart, most of it, because it's all derivatives. And derivatives are just something that derives value from something else. And then you have a derivative based on a derivative. You have layers of them. It's an incredible situation here. It's just a way to leverage the system. The system is so levered up. There's no way to tell how much actual cash derivatives are in it. It's if there's a number higher than quadrillions, that's where we are more than likely.
Yeah, we keep learning more and more about the prefixes you have to put to talk about bigger and bigger numbers. I don't mind it when it's about technology, when the amount of storage on our hard drives, went from megabytes to terabytes or gigabytes, whatever. But I do mind it when we start have to talk about that in our financial world.
It's kind of the same thing. Interesting that you put it together like that, but absolutely.